You've seen it, right? AI that can write, talk, and understand us. It honestly feels like straight-up magic sometimes. Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're going to look at the actual mechanics behind the magic.
Okay, check this out. Let today be the day you choose progress over perfection and intention over impulse. Pretty insightful, right? Maybe a little motivational. The wild part, that was written entirely by an AI. So how? How does a bunch of code and circuits produce something that feels so human? That's the big question.
So what are we looking at here? Is it actual magic, or is it something we can actually get our heads around? Well, that's exactly what we're here to do. Let's dive in and see if we can understand how this whole thing really works.
All right, first up, AI's language magic. Believe it or not, the secret behind all this complex stuff, it's actually pretty simple at its core.
So here it is, the big secret. The whole foundation for these giant, powerful systems like ChatGPT, it all boils down to one simple task: predicting the next word. That's it, seriously. At its heart, a large language model, an LLM, is just a super sophisticated next word predictor.
And you know what? You see this all the time. Think about when you're typing an email and it suggests what you're going to say next, like good morning, this is, and it pops up regarding. That's a tiny language model at work. LLMs, they're doing the exact same thing, just on a scale it's almost impossible to imagine.
Okay, moving on to section 2. Language's building blocks. So before an AI can predict the next word, it first has to understand the words it's already been given. And for a computer, that means we've got to break our language down into pieces it can actually handle. This first step is called tokenization. You can think of it like the model is chopping up a sentence into bite-sized pieces it can digest. These little pieces are called tokens. And a token can be a whole word, sometimes just a part of a word, or even something as simple as a comma or a period. And this is where it gets pretty clever. Take a word like pre-trained. The model doesn't see that as one single chunk. It breaks it into two tokens, pre and trained. Why does it do that? Well, it helps the model understand the building blocks of words, making it way more flexible when it comes across new words it's never seen before. So now we have all these tokens, but computers don't speak in words. They speak in numbers. So the next absolutely crucial step is to turn these tokens into numbers. Every single unique token gets its own special number, an ID. It's kind of like a unique serial number for every little piece of language. But you know, just giving a word a number like 3047 doesn't tell the computer what it means. That's where this amazing concept called embeddings comes into play. This process takes that simple ID and turns it into a big, long list of numbers. We call this a vector. And we're not talking about a few numbers. We're talking hundreds, even thousands. You can imagine it like a coordinate on a giant map of meaning. On this map, words like king and queen would be located really close to each other, but super far away from a word like, say, banana. Okay, but this whole system creates a huge problem. Look at these two sentences. I need to go to the riverbank and I need to go to the financial bank. The word bank is the exact same token, but obviously it means two completely different things. If it has just one numerical address, how on earth does the model know which one we mean? This is a massive challenge. Which brings us to part 3, the secret. Understanding context. Solving that bank problem, well, that required a genuine breakthrough, something that let the model see not just the words themselves, but how they all relate to each other. So how does it do it? How does the model figure out which bank is the right one? Clearly, it needs a way to look at the words around it, right? It needs to see river or financial to get the picture. In other words, it needs to understand context. And the answer, the real game changer here, is a mechanism called self-attention. This is the magic ingredient. It allows a word to literally look at all the other words in the sentence and figure out, okay, which of you guys are most important for figuring out what I mean right here, right now? Let's break it down into a simple 3-step conversation between words. First, one word basically asks a question. This is the query. It's shouting out, hey everyone, what's relevant to me? Then all the other words identify themselves. This is the key. They're like, I'm a verb or I'm a noun about money. Finally, the most relevant words, the ones that are the best match, get to share their meaning. This is the value. They pass on a bit of their meaning to the original word, changing it just for that specific sentence. Here's a perfect way to see this in action. Take this sentence, the cat chased the mouse because it was fast. Now, what does it refer to? The cat or the mouse? For us, it's obvious, but for a computer, self-attention is how it figures it out.
The mechanism calculates a really high score between it and mouse, and a really low score for cat. It knows to pay attention to mouse, and boom, that's real contextual understanding.
But there's a really important rule here, especially for models that generate text like GPT. They can only look backwards. When it's trying to predict the next word, it's not allowed to see any of the words that come after it. This is called masking. It's like it has blinders on. It can't cheat by looking ahead in the sentence. This is what forces it to generate text one word at a time. Just like we do when we're speaking.
Okay, on to our last section, models and their missions. So we've got all the pieces now. Let's see how they get put together to do different kinds of jobs.
So there are really two main types of these models. You've got your decoder-only models, like GPT. Their main job is to generate text. They're the ones that wear the blinders that mask attention, so they can only look at the past to predict the future. Then you have encoder-only models, like BERT. Their job is understanding text. They can look at the whole sentence at once, forwards and backwards. This makes them perfect for things like figuring out if a movie review is positive or negative, where you need the full picture.
So let's just quickly run through what we've learned. We've gone from magic to mechanics. It all starts with a surprisingly simple idea. Just predict the next word. To do that, the AI has to break our language into tokens and then give them meaning with embeddings. The real secret sauce, though, is self-attention, which lets the model finally understand context. And from there, you just assemble these parts differently depending on the mission, whether it's generating text or just understanding it.
And that really brings us to one last big thought to leave you with. We've just walked through how a machine goes from just guessing the next word to actually genuinely understanding the relationships between words in a sentence. So, if a machine can truly grasp the context of our language, what does that even mean for us? What's next?